Probs, you work with
It doesn't matter. What matters is that you worship a terrorist who is a warlord, a pedophile, and Islam is a terrorist organization.
Yeah,
not a
you're
religion.
not educated
Not a
about
religion.
it.
I'm very educated on this subject.
No, because you're obviously not.
You need to leave. You're not welcome here.
We are
This is
welcome.
not a Muslim country. This is a Christian country. And
Stop
you need
looking
to
at her like that, please.
You need to leave.
You need to leave.
You're not welcome here.
We have citizenship
Why do you work
here.
in healthcare if you're like
You need to leave. You need to go back to your Islamic country where you came from. Okay?
No.
Everybody's aware of why you're here.
No.
Okay, so don't think that we don't know, and don't think you're going to get away with it.
I'm pretty sure we're kind people, but you're not being kind, so you can get out of here.
Before we get into it, let's go ahead and clarify one thing. This lady name is Dasha Kilpatrick. She worked for Inner Light Holistic Center. Now, not to be confused with the Inner Light Holistic Center in Texas that's ran by another young lady named Katie. This woman is in Conroe, Texas. So let's make sure that you are not sending hate mail or putting bad reviews on the one that's ran by a young lady named Katie, because she has absolutely nothing to do with this one. They just happen to be using a similar business name. Now, what's interesting, though, is that this Dasha Kilpatrick she's a massage therapist. She's not even a fully licensed massage therapist. She's still at the apprentice level. I would hope that people will be calling the Texas License Board and submitting that this woman should never be able to practice on anyone. An interesting fact I saw in the comments of one video where one of her customers, who is Arab, didn't know that she felt this way. So she's willing to take their money, but then she accosts these two young ladies in a HEB, in a HEB, as I call it here in Texas. Now, I also want to say that the overwhelming majority of people in Texas don't act like this woman. So I'm not going to say that. I've been in Texas for almost 2 years now, and I have yet to experience one shred of racism in the almost 2 years I've been here in Texas. So I don't do everybody in Texas is doing this. Sure, there are elements everywhere. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and there are plenty of places in Atlanta and surrounding areas of Atlanta where racism is a mouthful. So let's get that squared away first. But as far as this woman is concerned, one of the most interesting things that I find about this, and I'm going to get to the whole thing about America being a Christian country and what she said, because we know that's bullshit. But one of the other interesting things I found about this is that normally we expect for the person to get fired from their job. Now, she does work at some other massage place because, I forgot the name of it, something Forest. Nothing as yet have come out about them firing her. I think I did see one person who posted something saying that the company is planning to fire her because even though they think that people should have the freedom of speech, whether they have when it hurts their business, then that freedom of speech goes out the window. And I understand that. But what's interesting is that social media has raised, on one of those GoFundMe type platform, over $85,000 for this woman. They're anticipating her being fired. And in that anticipation, they've already raised more than what her annual salary probably is. So she's already got a year of life set up because there are other people who agree to this mindset. If you go up and down Dasha Kilpatrick's page, which she has now changed it to say Delta Phi, it is littered with anti-Islamic rhetoric. It is littered with MAGA far-right Islamophobia. As far as she's concerned, when she claimed that she's well educated in this, her education is as far as what the MAGA far-right is pushing, as far as what Islam is and what Islamic people are about and what they're doing. It's not talking about Islamic regime, because these two young ladies, if there is an Islamic regime, because not all Islamic regimes are supporting terrorism and things of that nature, the overwhelming majority don't. But in the same sense that you can say, hey, they support Islamic terrorism, what about America when it supports the overthrow of other governments? Isn't that about the same damn thing? You see, that pot is always calling that kettle black and refuses to look in the mirror. But these people, they support that kind of rhetoric. And that's all she knows, and that's all she believes. Now, regardless of what the books say, because I know on this channel we talk more about what the books say and the history and the archaeology around it. But regardless of what the books say, yes, the Bible and the Quran both tell you to genocide people, kill people, cut people's heads off. Tells you to kill all the men and baby boys, kill all the women who's known a man, but keep for yourself the young woman. Each one of these religions have a history of violence in its spreading. Both of them spread through violence. And so to now want to stand on a high horse and say, oh, look at you, while you're sweeping everything under your rug. Well, that's called hypocrisy. That ain't nothing but some hypocrisy. But that's what we have here in America, because America has forgotten that only about 40, 60 years ago, Jim Crow laws were well in effect and accepted, that Dasha Kilpatrick's parents were alive and well here, probably here in Texas, upholding Jim Crow laws. Her parents were alive and well when black people were being hung for being black, for just looking at somebody, and all in the name of Christianity. She comes from a country where they utilize the Bible correctly to institute chattel slavery. That's right, the Bible totally supports that. Matter of fact, her parents were alive during a time frame where her mother couldn't get a bank account without her father's signature or her grandfather's signature. Meaning that women's rights were suppressed, all because of things in the Bible, like when Paul said that it was Eve who was first deceived and brought sin into the world. Therefore, she got to be up under a man. That women be silent in the churches, for I suffer you not to take the authority of a man. Yeah, that Bible calls women like her 40 years ago. She couldn't even have the job that she got. 40 years ago, she was trying her best just to even vote. A few decades before that, she couldn't vote in this country, this so-called what she called a Christian country. To which, is America a Christian country? Hell no. The founders of the Constitution of the United States made sure that America was not founded as a theocracy. As a matter of fact, some of the founding fathers were atheists, like Thomas Jefferson. But then there were others who refused to allow God to be a part of, or a statement, or stand-up religion to be a part of the government. In the Federalist Papers, which the overwhelming majority of them was written by Hamilton, and others were written by who would become President Madison, and I forgot the other dude, but those papers rarely, if ever, mentioned God, while the papers that were against the Constitution referred to God over and over and over and over and over again. So the ones who were against the United States Constitution are the ones who wanted more of a theocracy. And the people who supported the Constitution, to which they claim to support and defend, did not mention God hardly ever in the Federalist Papers. God is not a part of your Constitution at all. Even when you see the terms that every man is afforded their inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that's in the Declaration of Independence. It's not in the Constitution. The Constitution is the one that goes, we the people, in order to form a more perfect union. That one. So, it doesn't mention your God at all in the Constitution. Matter of fact, what it says is that everyone is guaranteed a separation of church and state by the fact that everybody has the freedom of religion. That means that when a person comes to America, they have the freedom to worship whatever God or non-God that they choose. It's amazing how they want America to be a Christian nation, but yet the founding of America said that we will accept people's religions to be able to be practiced as long as it doesn't violate whatever civil laws that we have, but they are able to practice their religion and no one can stop them. If the founders wanted this to be a Christian nation, then they would have deemed it so to be a Christian nation, and there would be no freedom of religion in the Constitution. But see, when you listen to all that MAGA shit, your mind can't think. You can't critically think. And this is why I hope that Dasha Kilpatrick gets all the fuck around and find out that comes with her bullshit. Now, unfortunately, there are supporters out there of hers. So let's also find out who those supporters are and make sure they get a little FOFA, if you know.